10 singers, the 10 greatest R&B voices of all time.
They all spoke so gentle, yeah.
Now, you already have a list in your head. I know you do. Whitney, Aretha, Marvin, maybe Michael. And you're probably right about most of them.
Not even time.
But here's the thing. When it comes to number one, the greatest R&B singer who ever lived, most people get it wrong. Not because they don't know the music, but because they forgot where all of it started. So let's count it down. Number 10. Number 10. Al Green.
I can still.
Now you've heard Let's Stay Together. Of course you have. Everybody has. But here's what most people don't know. That song, one of the most famous love songs in the history of recorded music, almost didn't happen. Al Green didn't even want to record it. He thought it was too simple, too stripped down. His producer, Willie Mitchell, had to practically beg him to lay the vocal. Green recorded it at Royal Studios in Memphis, 1971. And when that single dropped, it went straight to number one on both the pop and R&B charts. Stayed there. Became the kind of song that doesn't just play at weddings, it defines them. But here's the part that gets me. At the peak of his fame, we're talking sold-out arenas, back-to-back hits, one of the biggest voices in the world. Al Green walked away. Just left. In 1976, he became a pastor, full-time. Founded the Full Gospel Tabernacle Church in Memphis. And for years that voice, that silky, aching, one-of-a-kind instrument, only sang gospel on Sunday mornings. Some people called it a waste, but if you've ever felt something pulling you in a direction nobody else understood, you know that wasn't a waste. That was conviction, and his voice never lost a thing. Let's Stay Together didn't even go platinum until 2021, 50 years after it came out. They call him the last of the great soul singers, and he earned every word of that title. He won 11 Grammys, got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Would you believe that? No.
But the thing that makes Al Green number 10 on this list isn't the awards. It's the fact that his voice can still stop you in the middle of whatever you're doing. And that hasn't changed in over 50 years. Number 9. Otis Redding. And I need you to sit with this for a second. Otis Redding was 26 years old when he died. 26. Most people haven't even figured out what they want to do with their lives at 26. And Otis had already changed the entire sound of soul music. Born in Dawson, Georgia, 1941. Grew up singing in church, like most of them did, and by 19 he was driving Little Richard's band around as a chauffeur. That's how he got his foot in the door. Not as a star, as a driver. But one day they needed someone to fill a gap in a recording session at Stax Records in Memphis. Otis stepped up, and what came out of his mouth changed everything.
But while she's there waiting.
These Arms of Mine dropped in 1962. It climbed to number 20 on the R&B chart. Not a monster hit, but enough. Enough to let them know this kid from Georgia had something raw and urgent that nobody else could touch. And then came the run. Pain in My Heart. Mr. Pitiful? I've Been Loving You Too Long. And in 1965, the Otis Blue album, which, stay with me on this, he recorded in a single session, the whole thing.
But when she gets weak.
But here's the part that still haunts me. December 10th, 1967. 3 days after recording Sittin' on the Dock of the Bay, a song that sounded like nothing else he'd ever done. His plane crashed into Lake Monona in Wisconsin. he was gone. And that song, it became the first posthumous #1 single in American chart history.
Happiness, yeah.
Went straight to the top of the Billboard Hot 100. He never heard it on the radio. He never knew. If you've ever created something you believed in but never got to see what it became, I do understand why Otis Redding belongs on this list. Even with just 6 years of recording, the man rewrote the rules.
Waiting, just anticipate.
Let's look at the numbers. Only 9% of you are actually subscribed. Honestly, that's tough to see. Our team spends days hunting down archives and verifying every single fact just to tell these stories right. If you've made it this far into the video, you're clearly part of the community, so please hit subscribe. It costs nothing and helps us immensely. Now, for those already subscribed, very few of you have made the jump to our membership, and that's a hard pill to swallow because you're the ones who know our value best. If this channel has moved you or inspired you, consider joining. It's the price of one coffee, but it's the literal fuel for this channel. Let's keep this alive together. Back to the story. Number 8, Luther Vandross. They called him the Velvet Voice. And if you've ever heard Luther sing, really sing, not just a hit on the radio, but a full performance, you know that name isn't hype. It's an understatement. But here's what people forget. Luther Vandross spent years as a background singer before anyone knew his name. He sang behind David Bowie, behind Bette Midler, behind Chaka Khan, behind Roberta Flack. He was the voice making other people's records sound better, and nobody was checking for him. Then in 1980, he sang lead on a track called Searching with a group called Change. And that one vocal, that one performance, made record executives sit up. He signed with Epic Records, and in 1981, his debut album, Never Too Much, sold over 1 million copies. The title track went straight to #1 on the R&B chart. Right? And that's where the story should have a happy ending, but it doesn't. Not yet. Luther Vandross was nominated for a Grammy 9 times before he ever won. 9. Think about that. 9 times the industry said, "You're one of the best." And 9 times they gave the award to somebody else. For a man who cared deeply about that recognition, that had to cut in a way most of us will never understand. He finally won in 1991 Best Male R&B Vocal Performance for Here and Now. And in the documentary about his life, we learned that after that win, he told his whole team, "Call me Luther, Grammy winner Vandross for the rest of the day."
Open the door up, and to my surprise, there you were standing. Who needs the...
He charted a top 10 R&B hit every single year from 1981 to 1994. 14 consecutive years. He ended his career with 8 Grammys total, including Song of the Year for Dance with My Father, which he won while recovering from a stroke that would eventually take his life in 2005. Richard Marx, who co-wrote that song with him, said it best. There's never been a better singer than Luther Vandross. And some of y'all just nodded, because you already knew that. Number 7, Prince. Now. I already know what some of you are thinking. Prince? On an R&B list? And that right there, that reaction, is exactly why he's on it. Prince didn't just sing R&B. He absorbed it, deconstructed it, rebuilt it, added rock, funk, pop, psychedelia, and whatever else he felt like on a Tuesday afternoon. And then sang it all in a voice that could go from a guttural scream to a falsetto that would make your chest hurt. Prince Rogers Nelson, Minneapolis, 1958. His father was a jazz musician. His mother was a singer. And by 17, he had taught himself to play every instrument in the studio. Not competently, masterfully. His first demo tape, he played all 27 parts himself. His debut album, For You, came out in 1978. He was 19. He produced it, arranged it, composed it, all and played every instrument on it. The label didn't believe him at first. They had to watch him do it. But the moment everything shifted, the moment Prince stopped being a rising star and became a force of nature, was 1984. Purple Rain. The album sold over 25 million copies worldwide. When Doves Cry hit number 1. Let's Go Crazy hit number 1. He had the number 1 album, number 1 single, and number 1 movie in America, all at the same time. But here's what's wild about Prince and R&B specifically. Some of the most iconic R&B songs of the 80s and 90s, he wrote them for other people. Manic Monday for the Bangles, Nothing Compares to You for Sinead O'Connor, I Feel For You for Chaka Khan, which won her a Grammy. He was shaping R&B even when his name wasn't on the record. He won 7 Grammys. Got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2004, where he played a guitar solo on While My Guitar Gently Weeps that people are still talking about 20 years later. When he passed in April 2016, at 57, the world didn't just lose a musician. It lost someone who proved that genre is a cage, and the greatest voices refuse to live inside one. Number 6, Ray Charles. And if you don't understand why Ray Charles is on this list, stay with me. Because what this man did isn't just important, it's foundational. Without Ray Charles, there is no R&B. Not as we know it. He didn't just sing the music, he invented the blueprint. Ray Charles Robinson, Albany, Georgia, 1930, lost his sight completely by the age of 7, went blind from glaucoma, attended the Florida School for the Deaf and the Blind, where he learned to read and write music in Braille. And by 15, he was an orphan, both parents gone. Now here's the part that changed American music forever.
Girls, why don't you sing it again for me?
In the early 1950s, nobody was mixing gospel with rhythm and blues. The church wouldn't allow it. You sang for God or you sang for the world. You did not do both. And Ray Charles looked at that rule and said, I'm doing both.
I don't care who knows it. I've already made up my mind.
In 1955, I Got a Woman hit number 1 on the R&B chart. And it was gospel, unmistakably gospel. But the lyrics were secular, the feeling was sexual, and the church was furious. They called it blasphemy.
Who you doing it with? I trust.
But the people, the everyday people who lived between Saturday night and Sunday morning, they understood exactly what Ray was doing. He was telling the truth about how music actually makes you feel. That song didn't just chart, it created soul music, the entire genre.
I would like to sing this little song for my girlfriend.
Every artist on this list, every single one, traces a line back to that moment, that decision, that refusal to separate the sacred from the human. He went on to win 17 Grammy Awards. He crossed into country with I Can't Stop Loving You, which topped the pop chart for 5 weeks in 1962. Why, he was one of the original inductees into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1986.
Sweetheart.
Frank Sinatra called him the only true genius in show business. And if you've ever felt torn between who people say you should be and who you actually are, Ray Charles already fought that war for you, and he won it blind. Number 5, Whitney Houston. And before you say she should be higher, just hear me out. Because what I'm about to tell you about Whitney isn't a ranking. It's a recognition that what she did with her voice was closer to a miracle than a career. Whitney Elizabeth Houston, Newark, New Jersey, August 9th, 1963. Her mother was Cissy Houston, Grammy-winning gospel and soul singer. Her cousin was Dionne Warwick. Her godmother was Darlene Love. This woman didn't just grow up around music, she was raised inside it. Her self-titled debut album came out in 1985. It became the best-selling debut album by a solo artist in history. 25 million copies worldwide. 3 #1 singles off that one album, making her the first female artist to ever do that on the Billboard Hot 100. But here's the record that still stands to this day. From that debut through her second album, Whitney, she produced 7 consecutive #1 singles on the Hot 100. 7 in a row. No artist had ever done that before. Not the Beatles, not Michael Jackson, nobody. And as of right now, 2026, no one has done it since. That record has stood for nearly 40 years, untouched. Then came The Bodyguard, 1992, and I Will Always Love You, a Dolly Parton song that Whitney turned into something so powerful it sat at #1 for 14 weeks. The soundtrack sold over 45 million copies worldwide, best-selling movie soundtrack of all time. She sold over 220 million records total, 11 #1 Hot 100 hits, 6 Grammys. With me. But here's what gets me. Cissy Houston, her mother, was a backup singer for Aretha Franklin and Elvis Presley. Whitney grew up watching her mother sing for other people's glory. And then she went out and became the single most commercially successful R&B female artist in history. She passed on February 11th, 2012. She was 48, and the world hasn't sounded the same since. Number 4, Stevie Wonder. Blind since shortly after birth. Signed to Motown's Tamla label at 11 years old. Had a #1 single. Fingertips at 13. Became the youngest artist ever to top the Billboard Hot 100 and the R&B chart simultaneously. At 13. Now let that sit for a second. Most kids at 13 are trying to figure out algebra. Stevie Wonder was rewriting the rules of popular music. But here's where it gets extraordinary. In the early 70s, Stevie renegotiated his contract with Motown. He wanted full creative control. Write his own songs, produce his own records, play his own instruments. Motown had never allowed that before, not for anyone. But Stevie held firm. And what came next was a run that nobody in R&B history has ever matched. Talking Book, 1972. Inner Visions, 1973. Fulfillingness, first finale. 1974, Songs in the Key of Life. 1976, 4 albums in 4 years. And 3 of those, Inner Visions, Fulfillingness's first finale, and Songs in the Key of Life, won the Grammy for Album of the Year. 3 consecutive album releases. All three won the top prize.
I just called to say.
He's the only artist in history to do that. Not before, not since. He recorded more than 30 top 10 hits, 10 number one pop singles, 20 R&B number ones, 25 Grammy Awards, the most ever won by a solo artist, an Oscar, a Presidential Medal of Freedom. He was the driving force behind making Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday a national holiday. And here's the thing that people sometimes overlook because the awards are so staggering. Stevie Wonder played virtually every instrument on his records. Piano, drums, harmonica, synthesizers, a bass. The man was a one-person orchestra, a blind musician who could hear things the rest of us couldn't even imagine.
I just called to say.
If you've ever been told you can't do something, and then done it better than anyone who said you could, Stevie Wonder lived that story from the day he was born.
No Halloween.
Number 3. Michael Jackson. And I already know. Some of you are saying 3? Just 3? But stay with me. Because this isn't about diminishing Michael Jackson. It's about understanding that 2 voices on this list did something even the king of pop built upon. Michael Joseph Jackson, Gary, Indiana. August 29th, 1958. By 5 years old, he was the lead singer of the Jackson 5. By 11, I Want You Back was number 1. He was a child who sang with the precision and emotion of someone who'd already lived a full life. And nobody could explain how. But the moment Michael became Michael, the cultural event, the global phenomenon, was Thriller. 1982. Produced by Quincy Jones. The album sold over 66 million copies worldwide. It's still the best-selling album in history. 7 singles, 7 top 10 hits. Billie Jean and Beat It both went to number 1. And the music video for Thriller didn't just change music videos, it changed television, it changed marketing, it changed what was possible. Now here's what people sometimes miss when they talk about Michael's voice specifically. Listen to Butterflies a cappella. No production, no beat, no spectacle, just Michael singing. And what you hear is a vocal instrument so precise, so agile, so emotionally intelligent that it makes you forget everything else. And here's what I think about when I think about Michael Jackson and R&B. He didn't just perform the music, he became it. Every movement, every breath, every note was R&B channeled through a human being who treated his body like an instrument. If you were alive in the 80s, you remember exactly where you were when you first saw the moonwalk. That's not nostalgia, that's legacy. He sold over 400 million records worldwide. He was the first black artist whose videos were regularly featured on MTV, breaking a barrier that changed the entire music industry. He could sing Broadway. He could sing rock. He could sing soul so deep it felt like confession. His vocal range spanned 4 octaves. He won 13 Grammy Awards, including 8 in a single night in 1984, a record that stood for over 30 years. Number 2. Aretha Franklin. The Queen of Soul. And that's not a nickname she gave herself. That's a title the entire world agreed on. Because when Aretha Franklin opened her mouth, there was no argument. There was no debate. There was only surrender. Aretha Louise Franklin. Memphis, Tennessee. March 25th, 1942. Grew up in Detroit. Her father, C.L. Franklin, was one of the most prominent Baptist ministers in America. And in that church, New Bethel Baptist in Detroit, Aretha started singing solos at 10 years old. By 14, she'd recorded her first gospel album. She signed with Columbia Records at 18. And for 6 years, nothing. Not failure, but not Aretha. The label didn't know what to do with her. They put her on jazz standards, pop ballads, everything except what she actually was. Then in 1966, she signed with Atlantic Records, and the producer Jerry Wexler said, "I just took her to church, sat her down at the piano, and let her be herself." The result was Respect, 1967. Originally an Otis Redding song, but when Aretha sang it, with that arrangement, that demand, that fire, it stopped being Otis's song forever. It went to number 1 on both the pop and R&B charts. It became the anthem of the civil rights movement and the women's liberation movement simultaneously. One song, 2 revolutions. She won 18 Grammy Awards, including the first 8 consecutive Best Female R&B Vocal Performance trophies ever awarded, from 1968 to 1975. An 8-year streak. Nobody's matched it. She charted 20 number 1 R&B singles. She became the first woman inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1987. Rolling Stone named her the greatest singer of all time. Twice. She received the Presidential Medal of Freedom. She sang at Martin Luther King Jr.'s funeral. She sang at Barack Obama's inauguration. 75 million records sold. And here's what I think about. Aretha Franklin sang at Sam Cooke's funeral in 1964. She was 22 years old. And the man in that casket, the man who inspired her to cross from gospel into pop music, is the reason we're about to have a very different conversation about number 1. Number 1, Sam Cooke. And I know, I can already feel some of you pulling back. Sam Cooke? Over Aretha? Over Michael? Over Whitney? Yes. And here's why most people get this wrong.
Now I find myself.
They get it wrong because they measure greatness by volume, by record sales, by Grammy counts, by cultural spectacle. And by those measures, sure, Aretha, Michael, Whitney, Stevie, they all tower. But greatness in R&B isn't just about what you did. It's about what you made possible. And Sam Cooke made all of it possible. Samuel Cooke, Clarksdale, Mississippi, January 22nd, 1931, the son of a minister. Started singing gospel with the Soul Stirrers as a teenager. And by his early 20s, he had the most beautiful voice in gospel music. Smooth, effortless, like warm water, like something you could fall asleep inside of.
Wanting to marry you and take you home.
But here's the decision that changed everything. In 1957, Cooke left gospel for pop music. And in that era, the 1950s, that was betrayal. The church didn't forgive you for that. Gospel audiences turned their backs. His own community questioned him, and Sam Cooke did it anyway.
I know, and I'm near.
His first pop single, You Send Me, went to number 1 on both the pop and R&B charts. It knocked Elvis Presley's Jailhouse Rock out of the top spot. A black man from Mississippi outselling Elvis in 1957.
Now I find myself.
Think about what that meant. In 8 years, just 8, he placed 29 singles in the top 40 of the Billboard Hot 100. He wrote the majority of them himself. Cupid, Chain Gang, Wonderful World, Twistin' the Night Away, Bring It On Home to Me. Each one a standard. Each one still playing somewhere in the world right now as you listen to this. Y'all, but here's what separates Sam Cooke from everyone else on this list. He wasn't just a singer. He was the first modern black artist to own his masters. He started his own record label, SR Records, in 1961. His own publishing company, his own management firm. He refused to play to segregated audiences. He fought the industry at a structural level, decades before anyone else in R&B even thought to ask who owned the music.
Send me, I know you.
He mentored Bobby Womack. He launched Johnny Taylor's career. He influenced Aretha Franklin, who as a teenager had a crush on him when he sang with the Soul Stirrers. He influenced Marvin Gaye, Al Green, Otis Redding, Stevie Wonder. Every single name on this list traces back to him. And then, December 11th, 1964. Sam Cooke was shot and killed at a motel in Los Angeles. He was 33 years old. The circumstances have never been fully explained. His family still questions what happened.
Send me, I know you.
3 days before he died, he recorded A Change Is Gonna Come, a song inspired by Bob Dylan's Blowin' in the Wind, and by his own experience being turned away from a whites-only motel in Louisiana. That song was released after his death. It became the anthem of the civil rights movement. It's considered one of the most important songs ever recorded, and he never heard it on the radio.
But ooh, it's lasted so.
They call him the King of Soul, not because he was the loudest, not because he sold the most, but because without Sam Cooke, there is no soul music. No Motown, no Aretha singing Respect, no Marvin singing What's Going On, no Stevie, no Whitney, no Michael. He built the house that everyone else on this list lived in. And that's why most people get number one wrong. They remember the mansion. They forget who poured the foundation.
Wanting to marry you and take you home.